Richard here, and it's going to be with you. Time to share another device with you from my little bag of goodies, and I've got one here sent to me by Youde Technology for the purpose of this review. And they, like everyone else, decided to just jump into the Subohm tank craze that's going on right now. Every other manufacturer in China is coming out with a Subohm tank, so they too have decided to, dip their heads into the Subohm tank craze. It comes with a 5 ml tank capacity that's made of glass, okay, and you could call it a Subohm tank, or you could call it an RTA. Not only because does it come with a pre-built 0.3 ohm coil, stock coil in there, it also comes with a rebuildable deck as well for you to build your own, coils. It's got tons of airflow for big clouds, and it comes with a very unique drip tip. Besides, having heat sinks on the drip tip, which is kind of unique, promise you. I'll show it to you in the close-ups, okay? This drip tip also has these spiral grooves on the inside of the walls of the drip tip, so to guide the airflow and create this vortex effect, which they had it on the INP or the IMP RDA before, so that you can harness all your flavors, you get good flavor, at the same time chuck out clouds. And the name of this device, which I've checked out, in ancient mythology is also known as God of the West Wind. So let me introduce to you guys the Zephyrus RTA, or Subohm tank you want to call it, by Youde Technology. Youde Technology has been releasing a couple of devices lately within such a short span of time, being things like the Goblin, then they also released the IMP RDA, and then they have the Goliath, and now the Zephyrus Subohm tank, or RTA you want to call it. So all these releases, I mean, the Subohm tank basically because they're also trying to jump into the Subohm tank explosion, or so crazy so to speak. The Zephyrus comes with a single 0.3 ohm stock coil as well, no more. Okay, so if you want to get more stock coil, you just have to wait, because they're not released yet. I think they should come out sometime in the first week or second week of June, and they're going to be costing about $15 for a pack of 4s, 0.3 ohm rated. So speaking of which, the RBA, or the rebuildable deck in there, I notice it's very, very tiny. So you've got to be an advanced vapor, and you've got to be very good at building coils, otherwise you might get a short. I try to build it with 24 gauge wires. I still find that it's a little bit thick, and if I have more wraps in it, it's going to touch the side of the walls of the what I call RBA, and that will cause a short. So I decided to use 26 gauge wire, which was just nice. So I think the rebuildable deck is just solely meant for 26 gauge or 28 gauge, the thinner wires, not so thick things. And the other thing is, everybody loves top filling, so this comes with top filling, and it's got a rubber grommet there for you to push it in after you're filled up, so you don't get juice leaking out again. But overall, this is quite a fantastic device. It gives off really good flavor. First thing that I was really impressed about when I first tried it, not so much of the cloud, but because everybody was talking about big clouds, and when it comes to Subohm tanks, you normally lose a lot of the flavors because of the airflow, such big airflow, so tons of airflow in this. But to my surprise, the flavor was exceptional. I love it. I'm going to take a vape now. Lovely. I've got dual 26 gauge 0.4 ohms, and very, very nice flavor still. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Let's hit the the close-ups, get a good look at it, come back. I'm going to do a quick build on it as well, and then we're going to vape on it, and I'll leave you with my thoughts. Catch you later. Alright, so opening up the box, you have your parts in there. This is the rebuildable deck, okay, with a lot of airflow. Got these airflow holes here, which measures at 3 millimeters in diameter, 4 of them all together. And in here you have your glass tank, and a lot of O-rings in red and blue for you, and also the one in there is a clear silicon. And you've got this little piece here, and if you see this little grommet here, this is actually for a spare for your top fill hole, alright, just in case you lose it. Right on top here you can see the name Zephyrus engraved on it. and sort of like a laser edge onto it. Yeah, and in there you can see the engravings Youde, and you have your air hole here. This is a really long Cyclops style air hole which measures 2mm by 15mm in length. Okay, you have one on each side. At the bottom here you see your Youde logo, and you have not your serial number but the year 2015. Your center pin is made of stainless steel. Just looking at the slide, it has got that slight protrusion, so yeah, I take it you can actually use this with any one of your hybrid mods to make contact. As long as you have that slight protrusion coming out from the 510 pin, it is safe. You have the drip tip here, a nice short little drip tip. This is what they call the rifle or something like that drip tip. I'm not sure what you call it. This is a short drip tip, and if you look inside, you can actually see that groove there is actually the spiral that goes on the inside of the drip tip wall all around from the bottom till the top, or from the top till the bottom, either way. And that is to actually help create the vortex effect when you're vaping on it, so to give you better flavor and also give you more cloud as well. If you find that your vape is a little bit too warm for you, you might want to just add on the heat sink. Okay, this is the heat sink where you can push it into the adapter and also push your drip tip right on top, and this will help you keep away the heat. And let's start taking it apart then. From the top, when you remove this top section here, it will uncover this little red grommet, as I mentioned early on, and I showed you as well. That is a spare from the spares box. And if you pull it open, this tab has got two notches here. This will expose your juice holes. Alright, this is where you fill up your juice. It's got two holes, one for the juice to go in and the other one for the air to escape, so that your juice doesn't, you know, get pushed out again. So that's your top fill hole there. Right, this is the bottom section. It's just flat with your drip tip. To remove this, all you got to do is just turn it and screw it anti-clockwise, and this whole section comes out. You have this clear silicone, that's your deck in there, your stock coil. You can actually take out your stock coil as well, which will come to the stock coil shortly. Alright, just taking a look at the tank here as well. You can also remove this very carefully. That's your Pyrex tank. This is your chimney, which has got quite a wide bore, not a very long one, just a short one. And you have another silicone O-ring going up against your tank. This is the base. In there you have your 510 contact pin. Alright, and if you want to know if it's adjustable, it is. All you got to do is get a screwdriver, push it, and it comes out longer. The entire thing comes out. Alright, so if you want, when you're cleaning it, you want to push it out, no problem at all. This section here will go up against the pin, so as you're screwing in, that pushes the pin out to make contact. Alright, see, comes back out again. So there's no way for the pin to go back all the way in and sit flush. So you'll push it out. Alright, and you can pop this off as well. It's got an O-ring. When you're cleaning, in case you want to clean this portion, and also pop this off and push it back in again. Held on by just one O-ring. Beautiful. Okay, so this is your stock coil, dual coil. This is rated at 0.3 ohms. As you can see, it's written here 0.3 ohms. And right below those coils, they have a ceramic disc, bring out the flavor, to enhance the flavor, and at the same time also prevent a short in case these Kenthal wires actually touches the base. Okay, so it helps to insulate it from getting a short. If you want to use your rebuildable, you can actually just take this off, put it aside. Once you've got your coil done on the rebuildable there, just pop it in and screw it back on. Alright, so time to build ourselves a dual coil setup here, and I've got the rebuildable deck here, taking off the top part of the chimney cap here. I've got two pre-built microcoils here, 26 gauge wires, 7 wraps coming up, should come up to about 0.38 ohms or 0.4 ohms. What I'm doing is putting one of the legs into the negative and the other one I'm skipping a hole here and putting it into the positive so that I can have my coil centralized. So that's, just make sure it's tightened down enough. Alright, now I'm going to get my clippers and just snip it off as close as possible. Alright, so I got that done. Now for this, put one leg into the negative and the other one skip a hole and into the positive and slowly wiggle my way in. Push, wiggle as close as possible. Alright, take it out. And this one you gotta be careful, don't snip the wrong wire. Alright, so let me just bring this down a little bit. Alright, that should do the trick. Okay, so I've got two coils on the same height as you can see, yeah, and right over the air holes, centered. And now we're going to put it on a mechanical mod and test fire it and make sure it glows from inside out. We're going to give it a pinch. Touch that a bit. Perfect. So that's your perfect microcoil there. 26 gauge, inside out. Wick it with our cotton. I've got Kojendo cotton here that I'm going to be using. And we're going to push this through those coils. That's the first one. Make sure it's not too tight, but at the same time you want a little bit of tension. Alright, and just take a look how long it is. Now, you don't want to go all the way down to the bottom of the juice channel here. As you can see, the juice channel right here. You don't want to let it go all the way to the base, maybe just, you know, halfway. And the juice channels, those are really big juice channels, by the way. Just halfway. And I want to snip it at an angle. Just slowly tug it, nice and snug in there. Beautiful. Okay, that's my cotton in there right now. Let's get my snips, and I'm going to just trim them off ever so little. Okay, that's my snips there. Alright. Okay, so got it all snipped, and I think I pulled this a little bit when I was snipping it. Alright, so next what I want to do is, I've got my cotton there. I'm going to just put some juice on this cotton and prime it, and it works wonders every time. Now, next thing you want to do, get the top cap, gently, just push it in. And screw it down. Okay, so once it's down, that's your coil in there. We're going to test fire it. And put a bit more juice. If there's one thing I want to say, building on this Rebuildable you have to be an advanced builder, or rather an advanced vapor, because the space is so tight. I think it's pretty difficult to use 24 gauge wires in there. Otherwise, you know, you're going to get it touching against the walls and it's going to cause a short. So let's test it. Beautiful. Get this part here, get the grommet back in again. Alright, so once you've got the O-ring, not the grommet, sorry, I said it wrongly, the O-ring in there, and slowly push it in. Okay, make sure it goes into the O-ring sitting nicely. Now let's fill it up with juice. Take out this grommet, get juice, put it into the hole, fill it up, or you can use a syringe if you want to. The tank capacity, by the way, is 5 milliliters, alright, so you can fill it up to 5 milliliters, but normally I'll just fill it up 90% or 80%, and I'm happy with it. Okay, so we've got it filled up, nice and clean. Push the grommet back in, done. The top cap, close it back together with the heatsink. There you go, that's your Zephyrus RTA right now, rebuildable. We're going to get back top side, we're going to vape on it, and we're going to talk some more. Time to give you my 2 cents worth and leave you with my thoughts, and let me do away with the pricing, where you can get it and stuff like that, you know, how much is it and all that. Okay, good news for my Malaysian friends out there. I do know for sure 101% it's available in Malaysia. Okay, somebody's selling it out there. But the bad news is I forgot who is selling it and how much is it selling for. Okay, the stories like that. I mean, I've been surfing the internet. I do that a lot, you know, just surf for new vape gear, keeping up with the latest and all that. And I chanced upon it on the internet, so I saw it. Wow, somebody's selling it, you know, the Zephyrus here in Malaysia. Good for everybody. But I forgot to take a note of it, where and how much. So I'm really sorry. My apologies about that. Do come across it again. I'm going to leave a link in the description box for sure. I'm going to update you guys. Okay, so just come back and check on the description box off and on if you really want to look for a Zephyrus. Otherwise, you have to be a little bit more hardworking and try and find it out yourself. But I do know for a fact that it's being sold in Malaysia. For those of you in the States, no worries. A lot of brick and mortar shops, you know, retailing this, and they're in stock, and it costs you about $30 US. Okay. As for the stock coil that comes with the device, there's only one. Okay, only one. How pathetic can you be? But never mind. You want that, you just have to be a little bit patient, because Youde Technology is releasing these stock coils. Comes in a pack of 4, and they're going to cost you about $15 US. They're going to be released sometime in June 1st, 2nd. I think it's more the 2nd week of June. So once that's out, you can actually buy the stock coils if you don't want to rebuild yourself. And talking about rebuilding, just to, you know, reiterate once again, the deck is rather small. So if you're new into vaping, it might not be the best idea to try and rebuild a coil there. Preferably use 26 or 28 gauge wires. 24, I find that it's a little bit too thick. Okay, about the Zephyrus RTA. Well, we were talking about the Zephyrus RTA. Now, anyway, chucks the vapor for sure with a lot of airflow. I mean, you saw those 3mm diameter air holes, 4 of them on the RBA deck there. A lot of airflow. The Cyclops airflow here, 2mm by 15mm. That's really big air holes in there. So, you know, it's very airy, gives you a lot of vapor, and it's not humongous, ginormous, like, you know, drippers like that kind of, you know, amount of what do you call vapor, but a lot of vapor. Still very good vapor production. But what really surprised me and you know, I was really impressed about, was when I first tested it. I did a dual coil and all that, and I tested it. Wow, the flavor is awesome. I think it's to do with the spiral grooves on the inside of the drip tip, okay, to harness the flavor and all that, and also the length of the center shaft of the chimney in there. All this plays a part in giving you great flavor, and as they say, you know, it's all in the way it's designed. So I'm going to take a quick vape right now. By the way, I got this on 50 watt, okay, just to test it and show it to you, with a dual coil on the RBA Deck 0.4 ohms. I used 26 gauge wire, 2.5 millimeter drill bit, about 7 wraps, okay? Vapor production, I should say it's awesome. So there you go, flavor and vapor. The vortex effect does work on the drip tip. And talking about the drip tip, this little what do you call, heat sink here, so far I've had no issues with it. If you do find it a little bit warm, you can attach this and then put your drip tip on top of the heat sink. That will help you dissipate some of the heat and keep your drip tip cooler. Okay, so besides that, any cons? Well, not that I know of at the moment. And to be honest with you, I received this, I've not had the chance to really put it to the test, okay, extensively. I've had a couple of tanks, maybe 1 or 2 tanks on it. I've been trying out with the Rebuildable Deck. I've not even had the chance to try it out with the what do you call, the Subohm coils that comes with it. So I'm going to continue using it. If I do find out anything about the Zephyrus that I think you should know about, then I'm going to just you know, update you guys and keep you in the loop in whatever way I can, either on the Vapor Friends what do you call, Facebook page, or you know, come out on the next vape chat and tell you about it, give you an update and things like that, which I normally do, you know, after a while, about a month or so later, you know, after I've tested the thing and, you know, things that I find out, I will keep you in the loop, okay? So no worries about that. But otherwise, this is a fantastic tank to have. You got the flavor, you got a vapor, $30 US, not too bad. Malaysia, I think it's around 100 over ringgit. It won't go up to more than 200 ringgit. So one more vape. I'm pumping this at 50 watt, just to let you know. Huh? Did I say that? Anyway, one more vape, we'll call it a wrap, alright? Until I talk to you again, vape safe, God bless, and have a great week. Bye for now. Cheers.